Yes. It's Changing Faces Live, and it's not. It's Changing Faces podcast, and we are back again. Welcome back, everyone, to Changing Faces podcast. I'm your host, James Chang, and we are here for episode 2, and we've got it all tonight. We've got many things coming up on the show, many things to show you as well. There's all sorts, but of course, I am not alone in this report that I'm going to detail to you all now. With me as well is Dave Collins, who's live in the studio. Dave Collins.
Yeah, how's things? Everything good?
Yeah, very good. And actually, it bodes in very well because obviously in our first episode we were actually talking about you building up this studio, and there it is in the flesh.
It
with
is.
all the gears and goodies.
Some CDs left out here, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty good, right?
Yeah,
you can't see the other side of it. Other side of it, it's like, you know.
That's where all the good stuff is, and we saw that in the previous episode. And of course, you know, we can't just not plug our first episode there. If you haven't checked it out already, you go check that out. That's Changing Faces on YouTube, or how would I do that? You do youtube.com/@Hey Changing Faces. It's a really bizarre URL, if I can be really honest, but that's what it is. But yeah, coming up on the podcast, we've got a fair few things to go through. So obviously the first few things that we had on our first episode was just a few introductions and stuff like that, because of course it's our first episode, yada yada yada. And so instead, obviously, we've pulled a few things from the web that is worthy of our visual and what am I saying? It's just worthy of our attention to comment on and just observe and everything. So there's lots of that to come. We've got all sorts from Rez and her debuted Portal show preview. We've got a very expensive ashtray that we need to show and discuss. I'm sure David's riveting in that. We've got a custom-made Pioneer DJ gear as well. We've got something about Monopoly coming up very soon. We've got a sponsor as well, which is just me again. And then we've got other things to talk about. We've got Ministry of Sound coming up. We've got something from Madrid, and what we've got to talk about. And then back to London again. And then we're going to Belgium to talk about something. There's all sorts and more to come. But first, before we get into anything else, what's been happening with Changing Faces since our last episode? Dave Collins, how would you sum up our recent period?
A bit busy. So we've been setting up the live stream every weekend and getting a whole host of shows on there, scheduled in. We've got 2 new shows already. We've got The Last of Cat with Cat Santana, and we have got Do It For Music as well. And that's been a really special sort of addition to the schedule. And more's going to come. So it's been busy getting that live stream set up and getting the whole Mixcloud automation. And yeah, it's just been, it's been a busy month for Changing Faces, as I'm sure it's been busy for everyone across the world, really. But yeah, it's definitely been full on, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, and just to further add on that as well, yeah, we were proud to also, announce obviously our partnership with the Do It For Music Ibiza brand, or Ibiza and Zurich brand. So shout out to Gabriela Neuschwander for this collaboration. So it's very good and very exciting. And of course, the first artist that was on the Do It For Music radio show this week was Kike Torres, who is a resident of La Troya in Ibiza, the Brazilian party, I believe it is. So that was very exciting. I think their parties last year was at Club Chinois, I think you pronounce it. It's the place. Do you remember Heart Ibiza, Dave?
Yep.
Yeah, that's Club Chinois now, I think. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But anyway, so Kike Torres was on the show earlier this last week, should I say. But that was also very exciting. And obviously, you know, we've had The Last of Cats, which is very good, another radio show. And there's more to come. There's definitely more to come. But you're not kidding, Dave. There was,
our inbox has been lit up. It's been one of those months.
God, it really has. Yeah. Actually, before we continue, Dave, just pull a face for like 2 seconds for me for the thumbnail, like something really shocking, like.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna take that for the edit afterwards. Let me do another.
It's the YouTube law, isn't it? You've got to look like something amazingly shocking that's just happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna do another one. It's like blowing my mind. So give me 2 seconds. How's that? Yeah, for those who are just listening to the audio, yeah, we're just pulling some faces for the YouTube thumbnail, but it's worth it. Like, come on, it's worth it. So, so anyway, so that was one thing I've sort of learned from our first episode, because obviously when I was doing the edits and I was doing for the thumbnails, I was like, God damn it, why aren't we pulling faces? We're not pulling enough. So there we go. So hopefully that'll work for future me when I'm doing the edit and doing the thumbnail for that. So what has anything else gone on with Changing Faces Live? I feel like we're Changing Faces Live has been going at like 100 miles an hour lately. And for those who may have forgotten what it is, Dave, what is it?
So Changing Faces Live is Changing Faces but live. So it's a live streaming basically show service platform, however you want to say it. We're doing it at the weekends at the moment, and we've got a whole host of shows on there. But basically, you can tune in, chill out. We're going to put some video content on there, eventually. But at the moment, we've got a bunch of audio shows, and it's just basically we're trying to expand what Changing Faces means as a community. So, that's what Changing Faces Live is all about, definitely.
And actually, one of those shows that, you may be seeing. So if those of you are tuning into Mixcall Live in the future, I guess, they could be tuning into this right now as well, because this podcast also goes
out on Changing Faces Live. Yeah,
it most certainly does. But all of the good stuff is channeled through Changing Faces Live, and I guess it's stuff from us, but it's also content from our friends, or at least that's what it is at the moment, anyway. But more to come indeed. One of the things that we're going to just quickly jump onto, as mentioned in the coming up in the episode. I want to show you a little something I've got here, Dave, which is something really trippy, and we're going to go over to Bay Area, California. Which, if I'm honest, I was trying to wonder whereabouts Bay Area is in California. I'm assuming that's San Francisco Bay or the San Francisco area.
Bay Area.
Bay Area. Maybe. CA. It's got to be. I mean, we're not like. I would like to think my geography is quite good, but like I was thinking Bay Area.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Well, top marks for my geography, but. Take a look at this. This is Rez, and this is her debuting or giving a sneak preview to her Portal show. And I mean, just look at that thing. I mean, flipping heck. If even if you've had just a few drinks, like look at that thing.
I like the eyes. Crazy. They're really freaky.
Absolutely. I mean, I just think I just imagine like. Because obviously this is more like a concert rather than like a rave or anything like that. But I was thinking, imagine like, I don't know, like sort of young teen girls or boys wanting to come to a concert. And of course, like they're asking their parents, and the parents say, oh yeah, I'll come with you. And then they go, and that's what they see. They're going to be like, oh my God, what the hell? For audio only listeners, essentially, how do you describe this, Dave? It's like
the sort of thing you'd see at the end of the night, after one or two things. But yeah, maybe not at the start.
Right? Like, how do you describe it for audio listeners? What we're seeing?
It's like something from Silent Hill, but it's a rave.
Yeah, we're talking about a very large circular visual screen, but it's sort of like 3D looking, like as like a weird illusion. And then like all around, going around in a circle, there's like all these different eyeballs looking at each other. I sound like I'm on drugs, but like that's literally what we're looking at. But like, I must admit, as far as shows are concerned, it's one hell of a show. But quick question for you, Dave. Do you reckon you could DJ with those specs that Rez has, the
No,
lights?
no. I probably wear it for about 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, fuck this.
Yeah, because obviously, like the screen's really impressive. But I've always thought.
Does she wear those for the entire set?
I believe so.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that must be so like annoying. How do
Yeah.
you do that? What the hell?
I mean, credit to it because
I mean, a
like,
mouse head's one thing, but that's something else. You know what I mean? So
well, yeah. So this is it. You see, so I sort of thought about Deadmau5 when I saw Res and these specs because I was thinking, Christ, it must be like that can't be easy to.
well, I remember we were saying years ago when we saw Deadmau5, like how hot must he get wearing that mouse head? It must be insane.
Yeah, like it must
Does he
be
have like a fan inside it or something to keep him cool? Like, like that's the first thing I'd do.
Yeah, I do think like God, it must be fairly tricky for it. But I tell you what though, obviously, you know, to go to this show, you must think, God, Rez is amazing because like the show production's amazing. But you know, these unsung heroes of all these engineers in the background, these stage production people, this
Making
like,
it happen.
oh, absolutely, and like I tell you what, hats off to them to create something visually stunning like that because it really is. It's creepy, but like that's the point, and it looks great. Like
Yeah.
that is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that was definitely something. That was definitely something worth sharing. But again, you know, these are just some of the things that we've seen on the internet lately. Mainly, well, I don't know why some of the like these things get shown to me on Instagram. I don't know what it is, but they're showing it to me.
When was that gig, or when is it?
Oh, do you know what? Yeah, that was so that was actually debuted at the Cow Palace in Bay Area,
Cow Palace.
California.
Love it.
Well,
if anyone went, get some footage. Or hope you got some footage. Let us know. I'd love to sort of see some of the eyes. You know.
Yeah, just to further add, actually, that actually came. The source from that came directly from Rez and also the Instagram account We Rave You. And Rez describes her Portal show as hypnosis, horror, and optical illusions. I would definitely agree with that. Wouldn't you agree, Dave?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's on point. Yep.
And obviously, that is something that we saw, and we thought, "Wow, that is that's something that's a bit odd." But something else that's a bit odd is a very expensive ashtray. Dave Collins, have you seen?
I've seen this. Yeah.
Have you seen how expensive this ashtray is?
Yeah, and I'm sure. I know Dan would be livid at this. Absolutely livid. Right. It's a shame he's not on tonight because I wanted to hear his reaction.
Oh man, what has happened here?
I hope that was broke before. I'm just saying. To be fair, that would be kind of funny if you got a bunch of broken kit. Just imagine dotting those around the club, right? And people using it as like ashtrays and shit. That'd be really funny. But yeah, man, that looks broken to me. It's not even lit up or anything.
No, and do you know what? I was actually thinking this. I was thinking, wait till I show Dan. His heart's going to break.
Oh, mate, that would be quality. That was such a good reaction.
Yeah, and as you can see there, so for audio listeners, we are looking at a Pioneer CDJ 1000 Mark II. I don't know how old they are, but they're kind of pretty old, aren't they? Yeah.
I mean, I think they came out. I may as well search for this, but I remember they were sort of like they were big when I was getting into DJing, right? So, Mark IIs, did you say, not Mark IIIs? Yeah,
these are Mark IIs. All I know is these are the ones where you put CDs on the bottom. And is there a USB? Was there a USB port with this?
No, this is way before USB ports. This,
yeah.
So the 1000 Mark IIs played CDs. The 1000 Mark IIIs played MP3 CDs. That was like the big sort of defining difference. I'll get the date, but it's probably around about 2008-ish, 2007.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, even still though, it's an old relic, but I'm pretty sure you could still play off it, but maybe not this one.
Yeah, God, no, it's older than that. I just looked into it. It was introduced in 2000. The original. It was an updated version of the original CDJ, which was introduced in 2001. Oh God.
Oh man. I'm not going to disclose how old I was in 2001.
Oh, 2004 it came out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then the Mark III.
Yeah.
Was in 2006, so only 2 years later. But it held that crown for so long, it was crazy. The Mark III was like the standard up until the 2000s, which were around about 2015-ish. So for like that was the standard for like 10 years, easily.
And that's the standard for 10 years, and look what it's become now. For audio listeners, we are looking at a CDJ 1000 Mark II that is being used
in my dream decks, those. I used to love them, honestly. So it was very painful to see it like that.
Yeah, well, what we're looking at is a glorified, ginormous ashtray. And my goodness. And yes, and as we can see just from some of the comments here, at Mario Agliata says, quote, breaking my heart. Dave Demon 303 with the comment, ashtray 3000.
Ashtray 3000.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Would you still DJ with it like that though? Like if you had no choice? We've all been to clubs where the kit is pretty bad, right? So would you suffice to, here's your kit for the night? I was 3000.
I was thinking that it's probably a case where someone's turning again. There's your gear. You got to play on. You're like, oh, what about all these Siggy butts in the middle? You know what I mean?
Didn't you say to me a while ago? I've had this before as well, but like when the Q button is stuck, and like you almost got to get a hammer to it to get it to work. Right? It's just ridiculously sort of. The CDJs get battered so much; it's absolutely crazy. They really do.
They really do. And the mixers always seem to survive the best, but like the caps are always disappearing very quickly, aren't they?
They do. I sort of got used to in the end to just doing it with the metal bits.
Yeah, me too. To be honest.
What actually? Funny thing, like you've seen me DJ before, and I always use the line faders instead of the crossfader.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I did that because every single time I go to the club, the crossfader screwed up, broken.
Oh, really?
So I was like, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm going to just use the line faders from now on because the crossfader is always broken on every single bit of kit I ever use. So I just use the line faders now.
Why is that?
Because it gets battered. It's like the one bit that gets when you get turntablists, they slam it from side to side and stuff.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right, and I think it's just the one component that gets the most usage and most mixes.
Right, gotcha.
And so people don't really batter the line faders nowhere near as much. And so if you learn how to play on the line faders, at least you know that the mix is going to be usable.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? It's just that's one thing I sort of did ages ago. So yeah,
it's
good top tip.
Yeah, and a top tip indeed. And the theme train, I guess, of DJ gear continues. I mean, obviously, the first episode podcast, I was trying to explain to everyone that this podcast is about nightlife culture, and we will get onto various topics. But of course, at heart, we're both kind of nerdy for these things, especially DJ dancing. But one of the things that I wanted to get your opinion on, Dave, is our next little thing I want to do, show you. So what this is Virgil Abloh collaborated with Pioneer to create a limited edition version of the CDJ 2000 Nexus 2 and multiplayer. No, I've read that wrong. CDJ 2000 Nexus 2 multiplayer and the DJM 900 NXS mixer. And I want to get your instant reactions just from looking at it. What do you reckon of that?
It's not worth it. Oh my God. I love it. I want one. I actually love it. Yeah. Yes, please.
How about that? Don't you think that looks absolutely brilliant?
I've always had a soft spot for tech that's transparent.
Look at that.
In fact, my original Game Boy is transparent. Like that's how far back it goes.
Yeah.
I've always had a soft spot for that. Yeah, it looks cool. I want one.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh,
looks awesome.
My God. Can I full screen this? Oh no, I've just liked it. Okay, well, I still like it anyway. But look, that as soon as I saw
the line faders like, that looks crazy. Can you zoom in?
So the Instagram account at Techno has got a bit more on this. So let me just quickly get to the. Oh, looks even
Oh, look at
better in the
that.
dark.
Yeah, I like that, man.
So
Yeah, how much are they?
oh, no,
Credit
right.
card time.
Oh, I mean, these are limited edition. These are limited edition gear, but at Techno Instagram describes or adds context by saying Virgil Abloh collaborated with Pioneer DJ Global to create a limited edition version of the brand's iconic CDJ 2000 Nexus multiplayer and the DJM 900 NXS mixer. This exclusive release, unveiled in 2020, featured a striking, transparent design reflecting Abloh's signature deconstructed aesthetic. The collaboration was part of his sound engineering exhibition, which explored the intersection of music and design. By reimagining these industry-standard DJ tools with a futuristic and minimalistic look, Abloh reinforced his influence not only in fashion, but also in music technology, bridging creative disciplines in an innovative way. How beautifully put.
I mean, let's put it simply. They put a transparent shell on it. That's it.
Oh,
but it looks good.
Look at that, Dave. He actually used them.
That looks really cool. Wow. I actually really like that. I've got a soft spot for like DJ kit. Well, now it does anyway. Transparent gear and stuff that's metal, right? Stuff that weighs a bit. Oh God, maybe that might come through. But yeah, stuff that like weighs a ton. Like I know it's a bad thing for carrying stuff around, but man, it's so satisfying.
Yeah, do you know what? You know what? It'd be just our luck that we'd go to DJ on this and the crossfader's missing.
Oh yeah, it'll still happen. And now you can see it broken on the inside as well as the outside, right?
Yeah,
so you're still going to see it. It's like, oh, I can see the crossfader's bent inside. That's what's wrong with it. So yeah. I told you about that time a USB stick broke, didn't I? That's why I always carry CDs with me. Yeah, because I was playing on a 2000 ages ago, and I went on, and the guy went on after me, and then the guy after him basically ripped out the USB at a weird angle, and he ripped it out so the metal bit was stuck in the USB port.
Right, gotcha.
And then the guy after him was like, "I can't play. I literally can't get the USB. The USB's been snapped off inside the unit." I had to lend him my CDs for his set. It's crazy.
That's God, it's so. It's so bad because I unfortunately for other old school professional DJs listening or watching out there, I am unfortunately one of those DJs where I do only use my USBs. So of course, if I'm ever in that scenario, I'm probably completely boned because I wouldn't know what to do. To be honest,
it's a pretty rare occasion, admittedly, but yeah, when it does happen, you're like, oh crap, what the hell?
What do you do? But yeah, in closing for seeing such beauty, this is now correct me if I'm wrong, but it says here the caption Off-White designer Virgil Abloh collab with Pioneer DJ. But I always thought he did stuff for Louis Vuitton, but I may be mistaken. But I think he's done stuff. Like obviously Virgil Abloh was very inspirational in both the DJ and the fashion industry, but this is basically fashion. This is where fashion and technology combine. So, what do you think about that, Dave?
I'm not putting anyone down here, but saying this is a fashion item is a bit rich because all you've done is make it see-through. And I like that. I think that's great, but that doesn't really require a lot of effort, to be fair. So, yeah, great. I love it, but I don't think it required a degree to sort of engineer that either. Like, just make it see-through. It's fine. See-through plastic or whatever. But yeah, it looks good. I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying it's kind of funny how they're bigging it up so much of all this masterclass design. I'm like, just make it see-through. Done. Sorted.
Yeah, and actually, I'm quite curious to see what some of the comments are saying here. Squid Beat says, people in the comments didn't use the clear Xbox 360 controllers with the LEDs, and it shows. I love this.
Yeah, everyone's loving it.
Yeah. DJ ._.mac.m says, instead of black plastic, use clear. That was it.
That's what I just said, right? That's pretty much the criteria walking into this. This is like, we've got 5 minutes for this. Boom, done. Let's move on to lunch, you know?
Well, how about this one, Dave? At Studio 696969, to be blinded by your own gear during the set, the worst design ever.
No, man, I disagree. The CDJs already look like a Christmas tree. Let's be honest. They do.
Yeah. But like that was that as soon as I saw that, I thought, yeah, that's definitely something that would be definitely worthy of having a quick.
No, I like that. That was cool.
A quick look.
Cool little find.
And obviously, how can I bridge this? I always like thinking about things, how to bridge these things together. So I could say, that is something that you could one day own, a clear Pioneer custom DJ set gear, whatever. But what if you could own your own piece of Ibiza? Well, how does that sound, Dave?
What part of it?
Depends on what you land on, I guess. So this is what I'm coming on to.
Here's a rock from the beach. There you
go. This is what I'm coming on to for our next bits. So I did mention Monopoly, and this is sort of our next thing that we've come across.
My God.
So you can own a piece of Ibiza officially via Monopoly.
I think this one game defines Ibiza in a nutshell, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. So this credit goes to the Instagram account at Ibiza Board Game. So essentially what this is, it's a limited edition of Monopoly Ibiza Edition, and it's currently nearly sold out due to high demand. The Ibiza Edition is being sold over at ibizaboardgame.com, and the board features many iconic destinations that you can own and control, from High Ibiza to Las Dalias. Dave, obviously, now I'm assuming you have played the original Monopoly, yes or no?
Well, yeah, it's who hasn't? Yeah.
So Mayfair, if you remember, is the most expensive thing to land on.
What's Mayfair?
Well, what do you think it is?
Ushuaia.
Nope.
It's not Ushuaia? I don't know then. I thought that would be the most expensive club on the island.
No, according to this, it is High Ibiza.
Makes no sense, because High is like the sister club to Ushuaia. High is like the after party to Ushuaia. You've seen how expensive hotel rooms are in Ushuaia. My God.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know, because Ushuaia is a funny one because it's a club, but it's also a resort, isn't it? It's a hotel.
It's a club,
but
it's a
High
club with beds in it. I mean, High's not too far off. To be fair, I'm a bit bummed out they didn't say it was space. Come on.
No, well, it's a current edition, I guess, isn't it?
Nah, we've got to have a legacy edition now. We've got to have
legacy
a
edition, eh?
Yeah.
Well,
have all the old clubs, the ones that got knocked down, the ones that got rebranded, have them all back.
Well, as far as pieces of Ibiza go, obviously the other most expensive.
Can you imagine playing this to an Ibiza soundtrack? It's in Ibiza on the beach or something. It'd be so funny, man.
Just have like dice knocking about, and just have it in the club somewhere.
Mate, take this to the club and play it in a go to the VIP area in Amnesia and just play this. I'm like, what are you playing like? Monopoly, mate. It's that Ibiza.
Someone's probably got it, haven't they? But one of the other expensive pieces, obviously, in the original Monopoly series is Park Lane. Dave, what do you reckon Park Lane is on this Ibiza board? Because I know the picture's too small. You probably can't see it.
I don't know. What was Park Lane again? Was that like the second best or like the worst?
Yeah, that was the second best.
I mean, if High's the best, Amnesia's got to be on here. It's got to be.
It's not Amnesia. What do you think Park Lane is? It's got to be same level as High. Nope.
Same level as High. It's not Pasha. It's not Amnesia.
Yeah. Well, what would be the most?
I don't know. Es Paradise. Oh, it's probably not it at all.
No.
Go on. What is it?
It's Universe.
Is that the one that's basically privilege now?
Yeah, it's the one we talked about in the last
It's
episode.
not even open yet. How's it on there?
Yeah, but it's going to be the big.
Oh, it's going to be the second best club on the island. Then is that what they're saying?
Well, I mean, it's got its spot on the board already.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, I was thinking that. I was thinking, oh yeah, but it's not open yet. Surely they wouldn't add it if it's not open. All right.
Well, I'll be keen to know what your opinion is, because Universe obviously is a club that's not even open yet, but it's basically taken the Park Lane place, and it's actually ahead of Ushuaia, Eden, and what was the
That's
other one?
weird.
Blue Marlin Ibiza. What are you reckon about
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a good venue. I'm not gonna lie.
that? I'm just trying to look actually from this picture.
I'm based off my memories of going to not Esperit. Is it? I'm getting confused now. Esperit is the one in the top of the island. What's the one Universe is rebranding to?
No,
Privilege. Sorry, I'm losing my head. Yeah, it's not. I've only been to it, and it's Privilege, and it was like falling to pieces. So I don't know what Universe looks like. Sorry.
Yeah, so Universe is the one obviously that we mentioned in the previous episode where it did take on.
So where's Amnesia? Because that's my favorite club in Ibiza. Amnesia's for sure my favorite club.
Good question. Where is it? I'm trying to look at it from here.
To be fair, Pasha's up there too. Pasha and Amnesia are my top two.
Let me see. I'm trying to look at logos upside down as well. That's why I've got a bit of radio silence here. Just bear with me 2 seconds. I can't see. Blue Marlin, Ushuaia. What's that? Playa something. And then I don't even know what that one is. Oh, that's Nassau. Okay, that's Nassau. What is that one?
It's not on there, is it?
I can't see it.
Man, that's sacrilege if it's not on there. That's a staple of Ibiza. That.
I don't think it's on it.
Oh my god, how can he not have Amnesia? That's
No,
crazy.
do you know what? I've had to go around the whole board just to check. It's not on there.
Man,
Dave Collins, what's the reactions?
Amnesia is like it's the most legendary club in Ibiza.
So, as the Ibiza board game has actually described in the captions, finally we are back. The board is now available and will be shipped out straight away. Check out our bio for the link. The Ibiza board, the ultimate island adventure, one roll at a time, from legendary clubs to bohemian markets and hidden cocktail bars. The Monopoly Ibiza board is your golden ticket to reliving the island's magic.
I think we need to make...
No, Dave, but beware. Taxes, expenses, and bad luck are always one square away. Can you own the island, or will Ibiza own you?
I've got a question for you. If you'd made one for the United Kingdom, what would be on it? Or what would be the best one? What would be the worst club?
Oh man, yeah, that's.
So the best one for me would probably be Fabric.
Yeah, and the
what would be the worst one be? What would be the worst one? The cheapest club on the board, Rosie's. I've got Rosie's, mate. You got to pay up.
If no one knows, if no one knows the reference, you're gonna have to watch the first episode. But yeah, we've already covered Rosie's very well in Chester. No, yeah, it'd have to be. Yeah, you'd have to put Fabric up there. Ministry of Sound would have to be up there.
If we can go for any era, you've got to put Air on there as well, because Air is a special place in my heart. Yeah, for sure. And then obviously Nation's got to be on there as well, because Nation is again.
Yeah, you'd have to also consider Printworks, Drum Sheds. Oh God, what's it called now? The one in Greenwich. Studio 338, The Cause.
Oh yeah, of course. What's Printworks moved to IKEA, didn't they?
It's Drum Sheds now.
Drum Sheds, that's it. Yeah. I've not been there yet. I really should go at some point.
We should actually. Yeah, it does look good. You never know that, we might be able to get ourselves some furniture as well. You never know.
I mean, yeah. Ooh, good combo, isn't it? Come in from the club and you get a couch as well. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a wee piece of Monopoly that's you can get right now. And of course, that is at Ibiza Board Game for anyone else who is interested in taking a quick look just to see what pieces of Ibiza they can own. So yeah, would you? What would you own, Dave, if you could land on it? Las Dalias, does that interest you?
Yeah,
Universe, Blue
Universe.
Marlin.
Yeah, why not? Probably High Universe. Was Pasha on there?
I didn't see it.
Man, what the hell?
They are missing a few, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean Are we talking about this is a Monopoly but none of the old stuff, right? None of the old clubs for old fogies like me, right? So
well, it looks like there was like a mix. There was a mixture of things on the island. So like some of them were radio stations, some of them were clubs, and then some of them were like markets and stuff like that.
what about the beach?
The beach.
I mean, it's an iconic part of Ibiza Town Beach, right?
It might. Well, yeah. I can only assume that there's other these interesting, basically all the interesting areas of Ibiza. Basically,
What about Lineker's?
Oh, crikey! Yeah, no, that's a hell of a.
What about Cafe Mambo?
Yeah, the Cafe Mama's not on it for some reason.
What?
Maybe
I don't
perhaps
believe in this.
Perhaps there's just too many things on for Ibiza to have on the board.
It's been designed by an idiot. That's what it is. It's been designed by an idiot. Yeah.
They're going to come at us now to say, how dare you criticize our Monopoly board?
You should make a revised edition.
Hey, don't look at me. Go to
Monopoly, the Changing Faces revision, right? And we'll set it right. We'll set it properly.
Oh, God. Yeah, you can only imagine, can't you? We're actually at 35 minutes. Dave, we're at 35 minutes already. How mad is this?
Just chatting bollocks. That's what it's all about.
It's unbelievable. We're at 35 minutes already. Flipping heck. Let us quickly go to our sponsored break now. Don't not worry, folks. We're not going to be doing it for very long. So let me just quickly mention. So obviously we don't have a sponsor for this episode, so it is of course me promoting some of my music. But it's not just me. It also includes fellow Change Your Faces resident and team member DJ Dan Singh. So on the 14th of March 2025, me and DJ Dan Singh released our collaboration production single known as Chicago. Chicago is the single collaboration between me and fellow Change Your Faces resident DJ Dan Singh UK. The idea originally came in the form of some drum loops and vocal samples that Dan had done, and so after I don't know why I've written it like this, but I've written it as after some samples that Dan had done, and so after James requesting to add some melodies, or me, I guess, over the top and to arrange it, and this has been the final result. Additionally, to add a second track, Overview Effect experiments with strings which form part of the crescendo, along with piano compositions, and the beat is angled at a more late-night feel. Both tracks give various nods to historical dance classics and aims to amalgamate new and old styles combined in what hopes to be a warm, pulsating set of anthems for 2025. The single is out now, available to stream and or download wherever you get your music from. And of course, folks, don't forget, if you want something mentioning, be it a product, service, release, or whatever in our sponsored break, be sure to email us at hellochangingfaces@gmail.com. I'm going to bring you back in now, Dave Collins. Just a quick question. Have you been a good friend to us, me and Dan, and have you listened to the single Chicago by any chance? Or
yeah, it's fantastic. It's lovely. Yeah,
do you like it?
Yeah.
Did you also
I like Dan's vocal stabs in particular.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it was quite funny actually how that all came together because he literally just sent me he said, "Oh, I was just working on this," and I was like, "I'll put melodies over the top," and that was it really. But it was quite funny because obviously I had to write some of that copyright, and I was just thinking, to be honest with you, Dan just randomly sent it to me. He was like, "I made this," and I was like, "Cool. I'll do some some melodies over the top," and that was literally it.
Best way to do it, isn't it? Yeah.
But no, Dave. It aims to amalgamate new and old styles combined in what hopes to be a one pulsating set of anthems for 2025. I even impressed myself with that type of copyright. But there you go.
Well done. Yeah, that sounds good. Everyone should check it out.
Yeah, by all means. Yeah, it is available.
Spotify.
Yeah, wherever you get your music from, it is available there. Apart from Beatport.
Yeah, don't like Beatport.
I mean, Beatport's all right.
We do like Beatport.
We're not starting any arguments with Beatport. We've already annoyed the Monopoly people, so let's not go a step further with this. Crikey. But what I want to go into now, Dave, is I want to go into. It's that time again. It's time for the news. The news is happening.
Did you get a sweeper for this week?
No, we don't. So we're gonna have to do it again.
I'm gonna bring one for next week.
Or Kat Santana, if you're tuning into this now, you're probably thinking, he's gonna ask me for a news song thing, you know.
I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get the Fox News sweeper from Idiocracy. It'll be great.
Fox News. Yeah. So essentially, we're gonna get into the news, and we're gonna start with obviously something that's not good. It's not funny, and it's annoying, and it's just an absolute disgrace because. What the hell is going on here? It's not good. And what am I talking about? We're going to go to South London, Elephant and Castle, and we're going to go to Ministry of Sound. Dave Collins.
So
let me tell you. Yeah. I'll tell you first. I'll tell you because I've got to tell everyone else first. So what we're looking at right here. So Ministry of Sound, London club broken into, an illegal rave occurs and property damage. So this credit is from Mixmag and Ministry of Sound, and this was on Instagram. So recently, on Wednesday, 19th of March, the South London club was broken into, and the perpetrators have apparently caused what the club describes as significant damage to the club by having an illegal rave in the ladies' bathroom, spraying paint on the mirrors, and setting off confetti cannons. Mixmag Instagram post writes, quote, videos were posted online showing a large group of people streaming towards the venue and breaking in via its girls' bathroom, throwing an illegal rave with people setting off confetti cannons and spray painting the mirrors. In the comments, one video uploader wrote, there was like 100 people walking and shouting with bolt cutters and ballies on, and that it took around 2 hours for the feds to show up and shut it down, end quote. Dave, this is shocking to us all, and as some people have pointed out, why the ladies' bathroom? Dave Collins.
Yeah, so initially when I heard this, I thought it was kind of funny, but then you look at the footage and you think, damn, that's a lot of damage, right? And then you start to realize that Ministry of Sound has been through a lot of shit through the years, and this is another piece of shit they've got to deal with now, basically, right? And you're right, if you were to break into Ministry of Sound, why would you go to the ladies' bathroom? Like, their sound system in the main room is probably the best sound system I've been to. Well, I'm going to be clear, period. Like, it's really, really good. Like, it's up there. And I'm like, if you're going to break into MOS, surely the main room is going to be a target. Now, initially, I thought this was someone just nicking the decks or something, right? Because there's a lot of expensive equipment there. But these guys just have like a crappy rave. And I'm like, man, I'm split. I really am. Because I think it's funny on the face of it. But at the same time, it's like, look at all the damage they've done. And Ministry of Sound's going to have to just bounce off it again and just chin the cost. And I'm just sort of like, man. In a weird sort of way, though, I would not clean the graffiti. I'd leave it there.
Yeah?
Yeah, just leave it there. Yeah. You don't need to clean it. It just adds to the story of the club, you know?
Adds character, if you like.
I guess so. I mean, maybe the penis on the wall there, but yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah.
I mean, like it's pretty common to see a penis, penis thing, graffiti. That's what I'm trying to think.
I mean, what are the comments saying? I'm fascinated by this. I really am.
Yeah. I mean, oh god, oh my god, look who it is. It's our very own DJ Dan Singh, one of the top comments from a week ago. What the hell? Oh, God.
He's trending.
Do you know what? It's so funny, this. Like, the reason why I laugh is because I was thinking when I saw this on the news, actually, Dan sent it to me and Dave in our chat. And it was funny because I was thinking, Dan's going to miss this second podcast recording. And I was thinking, I know he's got a really strong opinion of it. But of course, he's got like the top comment on the post. It's so mental. Anyway, let's see what Dan has to say. So at DJ Dancing from 1 week ago says, quote, shocking to see. On the one hand, we have venues forced into closing with the reason that young people aren't clubbing anymore. And on the flip side, we have a clear indication that they want to, but have no regard for the venue or the law. That said, Wednesday night, if if I was Palumbo and the team, I'd be promoting a Wednesday night event, as there was clearly a market for that with extra security, obviously, and try and recoup some of that money fine.
He's got a really good point here. I do a Wednesday night event, and instead of the main room, it's in the girls' bathroom. Make it a thing.
Dan backs himself up by saying, "Back, not fine." Oh, and then someone at Rizzler.dmb says, quote, in response to Dan Singh, you do know this is a PR stunt and the DJs are account known. What do you reckon about that, Dave?
It's a weird stunt.
Is this a big PR stunt?
It's a very weird stunt.
Yeah?
That's all I'll say. It's a very strange stunt if it's a PR stunt. But yeah. I can understand the frustration here, but I'd roll with it and own it. I really would.
Yeah.
I just say, you know what? If you guys want to party on a Wednesday, you can party on a Wednesday. Here it is. And like I said, I leave the graffiti on the walls, and I just say, here's what happened. I don't know. I think there's an element to just sort of rolling with the punches and stuff like this, because if you make an enemy out of your crowd like that, they're just gonna hate you. You know what I mean? So I'm really curious how Ministry is going to respond to this.
Yeah, I mean, another comment on here as well from at Amin Clocko, I think that is his name. He says, quote, what the fuck is wrong with people? This is not the rave culture I grew up in. This is stupidity and vandalism. I mean, you could have gone into a shitty commercial club, but you chose to destroy one of the most historical, legendary, amazing venue who has done so much for our culture. Why is that a question mark?
I don't think that's destroying it. Bro's never been to Nation, right? that's something else entirely, right? So I don't think they've destroyed anything, but it is just like, man, that's disrespectful. That's my mentality walking away. But,
So I mean, as we can see here on the last slide here, Ministry of Sound said, quote, we can confirm a serious incident took place at the venue on the 19th of the 3rd, 2025. A break-in occurred, resulting in significant damage to property and the seizure of high-value equipment.
Yeah, now that's what got me annoyed. Because when you read that, you go, right, high-value damage, what they set fires to stuff, that's obviously not cool. Seizure of high-value equipment with the Nix CDJs, the speaker, the PA, that's obviously not cool. So if that happened, I'm like, whoa, that's dead set against it. They broke into the girls' bathroom and had a bit of a rave. And like I say, that's shitty. I'm not going to say it isn't. But if I was Ministry of Sound, I'd just say, right, yeah, this happened. The guy's still ready to party. And just sort of own it a little bit and just roll the punches. Because, like I said, if you start to turn around to all these people and say, you're not respecting the club a little bit, you're in a very big danger of basically making an enemy out of them. I don't know. I'm really split on this, honestly. Because I'm very much a guy that says, you know what? Just have a rave wherever you want and just do it crazy style, Up in Liverpool, people have raves in the tunnels and all sorts, right? It's just a thing. But at the same time, I really am against people damaging equipment and basically ruining stuff for everyone else. So yeah, I'm totally split.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and and especially I would definitely echo that to destroy other people's equipment. It's not.
Yeah, that's bang out of order. Yeah,
it is bang out of order. Like, there's no need for that. Do you know what I mean? And like, the thing that puzzles me with this is that, like, I've always understood the idea to do illegal raves, to do it in places where you wouldn't typically have a party, but
that's the weirdest thing about this. Yeah, Mystery Sound actually is where you do it, right? So it's definitely confusing for sure.
Yeah. So and actually, there seems to be a lot of parties going on, or potentially not going on at the moment, which I will quickly address again, because we're gonna head on over to Madrid now, and this is still something that's kind of annoying to read and everything, because it's not the greatest news in the world. It's quite annoying for people who like to party, such as me and Dave. So essentially, we're talking about Fernweh, and this is Madrid's. My God, come on. Madrid's promoters' 5th anniversary party shut down by police. So
Yeah.
local Madrid police blocked the event from going ahead amid disappointment from locals, fans, and event organizers. So this article here from Michael Lawson, and this is from Resident Advisor. The promoter addressed the situation through Instagram on Sunday, 16th of March, with Michael Lawson writing, quote, "Shattered and devastated. The post began..." What am I saying? No, "Shattered and devastated, the post began, full stop. The excitement and hard work of over 3 months to create one of the most beautiful events ever held in Madrid for our community has been thrown away by the testosterone-fueled whim of a police force that, far from protecting, destroys." Speaking to Resident Advisor, the Fernweh team revealed that the party was shut down due to the venue not having the correct license. The post also mentions, bear with me here, for people who understand Spanish, "Nos enfrentamos a una situación complicada y nueva en la que tenemos que enfrentar dificultades económicas muy duras que ponen en riesgo la continuidad de Fenway," which is basically saying that they are finding it an increasing challenge to keep going because of the social economic instability. If any Spanish listeners are listening to that, first of all, I'm sorry if I didn't say that very well in Spanish, but I think that's what it was saying. But you can correct me if I'm wrong. Dave Collins, I'm going to come to you about this as well. And the key thing I want to ask you about for your opinion of is the quote here where it says, "The Fernweh team revealed that the party was shut down due to the venue not having the correct license, and yet the organizers say that where was it? Testosterone. There it is. Has been thrown away by the testosterone-fueled whim of a police force that, far from protecting, destroys."
Damn.
Who's right and who's wrong here? What do you think's happened here?
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
Fabric.
Yeah?
Remember they just got shut down constantly by the cops? Went on for ages. It was again and again and again and again. How did they have the right license? Comes to mind. But at the same time, if it's anything like London, the police really come down hard on clubs like this. They just hate them. It's crazy.
Yeah, because the thing is, who do you want to believe here? Like, are we saying it's the police? They're just really awful people, or are they saying, or is it legitimate? Is it a license issue?
Yeah.
Like, what do you reckon?
You got to remember, a policeman's just following orders, right? So that's sort of part one. I'd hate anyone to think that a policeman's being an asshole because he's an asshole. No, not the case. Policeman is following orders from someone high up, right? So if someone high up wants to shut this down, they'll shut it down, right? And that's sort of just the way it goes. And I saw this with Fabric as well. Both of us saw it, where Fabric just got shut down constantly, and reasons were just getting made up in the end, pretty much, right? And when we went to IMS, they were talking about this. They had the owner of Fabric, and he was saying, "Listen, we can't keep the club open. The council wants to shut us down. They'll shut us down. They'll find a reason." So, like, I think it really sucks. And the best way to get around this is to talk to their local, well, over here it'll be an MP, but over there, their local government official, to just basically make this a thing. Like in London now, you've got a nightlife. What do they call it? Like a nightlife sort of.
Oh, nightlife czar.
Yeah, that's a weird title, but yeah, sort of like this idea that someone manages the nightlife and looks after it and curates it a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead of just leaving it up to the whim of, just basically a bit of a Wild West, essentially. I think that worked well in London, and I think it probably worked well there if they haven't already got one. But yeah, it's a shame to see, man. It really is. Like every time an event like this gets sort of shut down like this, unplugged, quite literally. It's like, damn, it's the worst case scenario, definitely.
I will also say as well, I think another key context here for those who have never been to Spain, but there is, I've always known it just from the history books from the times I've been there. There's always been a prevalent issue with the Guardia Civil. You remember them, Dave? The dudes in the green outfits. They're the ones that always turn up with like MP5 machine guns, like just surprise, like saying you've got to go. It's like, like Christ.
Again, though, like every time we've met them, they've been all right. But obviously, they've got a reputation. And where does that reputation come from?
Mhm.
You've got to ask yourself that. So yeah, definitely.
It does make me think, like when obviously we read things like this where they say the police have just come in and shut it down. Now I'm aware that the Guardia Civil have had run-ins with a lot of parties in Ibiza. I'm assuming Guardia Civil obviously exists in mainland Spain as well. So I'm not sure if they've had anything to do with this, but yeah, it's I can only imagine the frustration of if you were going to this 5th anniversary party and like you get there or whatever, it just didn't even go ahead. You know what I mean? But that's one of the things going on in Madrid, which is a bit annoying. But do you know what though? We've had two bad things.
Come
Two
on,
things that makes
the
us
news
angry.
is just terrible. What's going on?
Angry things.
Last
Angry
episode
things.
and this
Yeah.
episode, it's just been
But
bad.
well,
It's too realistic.
Don't worry, don't worry, Dave, because we're gonna get onto some good news. Do we want some good news in the house? Yes, we do. And
got some lovely news.
And where are we going for the good news? We are actually gonna go to London.
Liverpool.
Oh, no, not Liverpool. No, we're gonna go to London because you would not believe it, but I'm very pleased to say a new club is opening in West London. So let's find out a bit more about it.
God, is that related to the gallery? Yeah, you explain it. Go on.
No, not that. But I know exactly what you're referring to. But so Gallery is the new London club, and the new London club confirms its first program of parties. So again, this is credit to Michael Lawson of the Resident Advisor. In what is often referred to as a rare sight these days, a new nightclub is opening in London called Gallery. The club is located in Kensington High Street and has launched on 27th of March with their opening night featuring house and disco legend Bob Sinclair. Michael Lawson further explains with, quote, the Kensington High Street venue will host Bob Sinclair and William Jocko for the opening weekend. Other notable bookings for the coming weeks include Butch, Miguel, Tons, and Malika, and more events are to be announced. Gallery is a 400-capacity multi-room space that boasts a 360-degree DJ booth, D&B Audio Technic sound system, and in-house pizzeria. It has been opened by the team. Oh, yeah. It has been opened by the team behind nearby boutique club B London. For more information on the new club can be found... No, let me read that again. More information on the new club can be found by visiting galleryclublondon.com or on Instagram at Gallery Club London. Dave Collins, before I come to you, I just want to quickly show you.
Have you got a video?
No, well, no, I think I could have sworn I had photos, but maybe I don't. Let's look at here, shall we? I'm just quickly scrolling through. Oh no, it's not there. I was just gonna scroll through just to see if there was wait. Hang on, no. Hang on. I'm going to go on to, hang on, just bear with me 2 seconds. I'm going to go on to, there we go. Because for some reason in that pop-up, I can't turn the sound off. I'm just quickly flicking through the video just to see if it's going to be.
Don't worry about it. We'll get it in post.
We'll get it in post.
We'll get it in post.
The clips of the nightclub, but no, there isn't. So just bear with me 2 seconds. I'm going to quickly go try and see if there's any. I don't know. Have they shown? Are they shown? No, there's no. No, it's not on there either. Anyway, so basically, as the news article has mentioned, 400 capacity, multi-room space, boasting a 360-degree DJ booth, D&B Audio Technic sound system, and in-house pizzeria. Dave Collins, is that sold you?
There's many things I need to dissect here. So, first of all, a new club opening, lovely. I'd love to see some pictures. It has a pizzeria in it. That's awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
Fun fact, I remember years ago when I was using Virtual DJ, there's a hidden pizza mode built into that software.
Yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely remember this, but if you press a certain key combination, it brings up Google Maps and shows you the nearest pizza place. It's great. Such an essential feature for DJ software, right? So that's pretty cool. I like the idea you can get a pizza delivered to you on the dance floor. Pretty cool.
Wow.
And then the bit that made me laugh is the bit that says, It's a 360-degree DJ booth. And after last episode about DJ requests, can you imagine the chaos if that happened there?
Oh man. Yeah, there's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to turn.
Everywhere you look, someone's got a request. It's like, oh no.
You'd have to have like a notepad just going round in the circle.
Can you imagine you need the toilet as well? It's like, I've got to get through the crowd to get to the toilet. You're just stuck in there.
Yeah, you can only imagine. But I'll tell you what, I mean, obviously, we're only going off this one picture preview here, but it looks very bougie, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll have to go. We'll have to sort that out. When's that opening? 27th, right?
March 27th. So obviously, it was. I mean, at the time of us recording, we're recording this on the 28th of March. So this was last night was their opening. Thursday night. A Thursday night they opened. But there you go.
That's cool, man. I like that.
But I have noticed that, like in some areas of London, Thursday is the new Friday. Or at least that's what people claim, anyway.
Why wait for the weekend?
Well, yeah, more time for the weekend. But yeah, as we can see here, if we scroll down a bit further, you can see there some of the upcoming events. Obviously, 20th of March, which is as of our recording, it's right now. So William Jocko is there right now, and then of course there is Mr. CD, Normas. Jean-Pierre, and then then you got Maid and Mykonos on Friday 4th of April with Vasily and Silly Christos, then Miguel Antons, Malika, as mentioned before, and then Butch on 12th of April, and that is his night called Speaking Minds Odric, or at least that's what it says there. Very interesting stuff, but again, it's nice to have some good news every once in a while, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
We're always like,
what sort of genres are those sort of artists, would you say? What vibe is this place going for?
I mean, I mainly know Butch, and he does
Butch.
He does like sort of like deep house, sort of that area. He dibbles and dabbles, you know what I mean? He's one of those people, dibble and dabble a bit of deep house, tech house, and techno. He's sort of like,
I've always considered him a techno guy. Right.
Yeah, he's in that category. I've known him from just some of the stuff that I've got a few deep house tracks I quite like, and so yeah, we were obviously we've been round the block basically. We were in South London before for our first news article. Then we went over to Madrid to talk about the party with Fernware. Then we went back to London, but now we're gonna go right over to Belgium, and we're on the same topic of illegal rave because this one
as well.
this one was a real doozy. As soon as I read this, I was like, we can't not talk about this. So there's a quick preview of what for people viewing it, and for you audio listeners, listen to this. Belgium illegal rave organizers jailed and fined for putting on a illegal rave in Belgian military airbase. So the credit here goes to Martin Guttridge Hewitt from DJ Mag. The party took place on the 7th of July 2023 and saw around 200 people turn up to an illegal rave at a Belgian military airbase, where it is believed that some attendees entered a restricted area of the base where there were unexploded munitions. Anyway.
Talk about dropping the base.
So, Martin writes, quote, held on the 7th of July 2023 at, oh God, this is going to be a hard one to pronounce, at Grootskietveld Military Base and Nature Reserve, close to Antwerp. Around 200 people are believed to have entered a restricted area for the party. This triggered a provincial disaster plan because authorities believed there was the likelihood of attendees encountering unexploded munitions. The area is used by the Belgian Armed Forces for artillery practice. Prior to 2021, it has been partially accessible to the public, but a number of incidents involving what the Brussels Times labeled as careless visitors led to a complete ban on unauthorized entry. Around 12 individuals were arrested at the rave when Belgian law enforcement officers arrived with support from Dutch police called across the border to assist with dispersing the crowd. In addition to the core team, a further 8 people who have also received criminal convictions for providing sound equipment with up to 52 hours of community service owed. The organizers have been fined €78,635, 3 of them have been given jail terms for 1 year, and 2 of them have been given 2 to 4 months, with others getting community service. Dave,
That's kind of a serious sentence, actually. Now,
yeah,
yeah.
Dave, I've got to jump to you. How do you unravel all this? Like,
I reckon. This is my theory. They didn't know it was a military airbase. They just saw an empty field and they went, "Let's do it."
Yeah,
and they just had the worst luck in the world, and it happened to be like this minefield airbase sort of thing, right?
I just think.
Can you imagine the raid on that? Like, it's not just the police turning up; it's Apache helicopters, you know.
I just think they're like surely they've got to be so lucky, all those people that went to that party, because no one was injured, to my knowledge. Or the article does not state that anyone was.
I mean,
lost any limbs.
To be fair, like, a military base is not going to have mines on it, right? So when it says, where does it say munitions? What's that bit say?
So, I mean, as the article quotes here, that it triggered when they found that there was people in the restricted area, it triggered a provincial disaster plan because authorities believed there was the likelihood of attendees encountering unexploded munitions.
Why would there be unexploded munitions on a military base? That makes no sense to me. Maybe it's a firing range or something, right, at some point. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's never a good idea to do a rave at a military base. You know what I mean? That's kind of a whoops. But again, I think they just did a rave because it was like a bit of unused land, and it just happened to be the worst place in the world to do one, and they just got totally boned by all the authorities. Whoops. Yeah.
I gotta also, I have to also question this bit in the article where it says, the area is used by Belgian armed forces for artillery practice. Okay.
Yes, they'd be craters and stuff.
So prior to 2021, it has been partially accessible to the public, but a number of incidents involving what the Brussels Times labelled as careless visitors led to a complete ban on unauthorized entry. What was going on there? Like, what were people doing? Like, what? Also,
wait, so it was open to the public
partially,
but when these guys turn up, they're like, "Oh, there's unexploded munitions there." So why is it open to the public if there's unexploded munitions? That makes no sense, that sentence.
I mean, no,
unless they put the unexploded munitions in after they opened it to the public.
No. I think what they're trying to say is that the unexploded munitions was in the restricted area.
Oh, and they went to the restricted area.
Yeah, but whether they knew that or not, I don't know.
I mean, there's probably a signpost somewhere, but yeah, buried underneath the sound system of this rave. You know what I mean?
It's mad. It's an absolutely fascinating.
This sort of reminds me of the party at Area 51. Like, remember ages ago they did a rave to get to Area 51. Yeah.
And I tell you what a contrast this is. So, meanwhile, back in London, they're doing an illegal rave in the ladies' toilets in Ministry of Sound.
I mean, fair play to these guys. They now have to go big with this. You know what I
mean? Meanwhile, over in Antwerp, they're doing an illegal rave in a military air base.
See, I'm just picturing the style. What style of music would they be playing here? Like, I've instantly got like Gabba in my head instantly, right? Like, what's the most extreme sort of loudest music ever with like bombs going off in the background? It's just got to be the heaviest techno in the world, you know?
I mean, isn't that just something though? I mean, yeah. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my god! But you know what though? The article does not state that anyone was injured. So
that's good. Yeah.
Like, you got to take your wins somewhere, haven't you, right?
Wow. Poor guys have got jail time, though. Gosh, that is kind of extreme. But
yeah.
Hey,
and
don't do rapes on military bases, I guess, you know.
And $78,000, 78,000 euro fine.
I mean, the fines, you'll always get fines for illegal raves. The question is, can you ever pay it off? Probably not. So it usually gets written off, right? But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is something, isn't it? But what we're going to do now is we're going to go into we're a bit over, but I knew this was going to happen. But we're going to go into our discussion topic now because that concludes the news, and we're going to go into a topic now. But do you know what? Funny enough, I had 2 topics to discuss. Because I thought, I don't think we're gonna get through. Sorry, no. I was thinking if I have just one, it won't be enough. So I did a second one just in case. But in
There's
hindsight
been so
now,
much news, man.
yeah,
I've
there's
got a whole
been
list of news as well. Like, we'll have
yeah,
to save that till some other time.
no, you have to park it, mate. Yeah, because
Yeah.
honestly, like we've got one topic here, but I have a feeling that like we're going to be a while with this as well. I don't see us getting to the second topic, but we'll carry on anyway. But so our first topic of discussion is in regards to our favorite or one of our favorites. We're talking about Deadmau5, and what we're going to talk about right now is it's counted as news as well, but I'll just share with the a little thumbnail here. So let me start. So this is about Deadmau5, Canadian artist, selling his catalog for $55 million in a $55 million plus deal. It says. So this article was from the Hollywood Reporter, and this we have to credit Caitlin Houston, Canadian DJ producer, Mousetrap boss, and entrepreneur Joel Zimmerman, aka Deadmau5, officially has sold his catalog and record label to Create Music Group in a deal valued at around $55 million plus. Caitlin Houston gives more detail here and writes, quote, the deal includes the sound recordings and copyrights of more than 4,000 songs and will see the formation of a joint venture to release future recordings by Deadmau5 and from Mousetrap. Create Music Group will also remaster and re-release certain catalog pieces, explore licensing opportunities, brand partnerships, and work with emerging media such as gaming, VR, and live streaming. Then we have a quote here. When Deadmau5 put on that helmet, he didn't just create a brand, he sparked a movement. His vision redefined electronic music, pushing boundaries and reshaping the industry. From the earliest days of Create Music Group, co-founder and COO Alexandra Williams and I had the privilege of working alongside Joel and his business partner, Dean Wilson, witnessing firsthand the evolution of an icon. Jonathan Strauss, co-founder and CEO of Create Music Group, said, now, as the stewards of Deadmau5 and Mousetrap's legendary catalogue, we inherit a legacy that changed music forever. Joel's influence reaches far beyond sound. His mastery bridges music, gaming, and technology, inspiring a new generation to think bigger. This is more than an acquisition. It's a responsibility, he continued. I have worked closely with Jonathan, Alex, and Create for nearly 2 decades now, building my own career as well as the artists on Mousetrap. We didn't need to look far when we were considering a partner to help get it all to the next level. With Create, I feel the music is going to reach more, Zimmerman said. Now, Dave Collins, I'm going to immediately come over to you and with a one simple question. After all that you've just heard, do you think Deadmau5 is retiring?
No. I did initially.
Do you think, well, as a follow-up, do you think this is the beginning of the end for Deadmau5?
No. I think it's going to change. Yeah. So when I first read the title, I thought, oh God, he's selling out. It sounds like a sellout. But then when you explained that to me, I remembered something. So I'm sort of reading this article here, and it's saying his mastery bridges music, gaming, and technology, inspiring a new generation to think bigger. And it's more than acquisitions responsibility, right? Now, I remember Deadmau5 has been trying to push this gaming thing for ages. He loves video games. He loves streaming. From what I remember, he's been in Fortnite. But even when we've been to IMS, he's tried to launch his own video game as well for music as well. Remember this?
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
And with all the respect in the world, that failed. It didn't really work, and everyone in the gaming sphere didn't really care about his music. So I think this is an attempt to try and make his music like bridge that gap, just like this article has said. Now, his music's fantastic. I'm not saying it's useless any means, but to bridge a gap from like the DJ world into the gaming sphere, that's a huge jump, right? And very few artists have managed to actually do that. I think he's tried it already, and it didn't quite work out in the way he thought it would. And so now it's trying to get a music group to help make that process a thing. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it will become a thing, because a lot of electronic music has been put in a lot of games recently, right? Over the past 10 years, how many electronic artists have featured in video games? I know recently, literally yesterday, I was playing Cyberpunk. Yep. And there's a lot of great music artists in that I thought I'd never hear in video games, but they're there, man. Boom. And thinking back, I remember DJ Hero being a thing for Deadmau5 and the integration.
Yes, right,
There's been a lot of attempts to try and put like electronic music in games, and if he can crack this, he'll be probably one of the first pioneers to do it properly. So yeah, go for it, man. I think this is a good thing for him, because he's always been trying to bridge that gap between just music and getting into video games, technology, and things, right? So yeah, I think this is actually a good thing.
It's an interesting
like ultimately I'd love him to do the soundtrack to a game, and that to be an identity, because that's like, in my opinion, when you really have transition, is when a game creator goes to you and says, can you make the soundtrack to our game, please? That's when you've like made the transition. And there's been a few artists that have done it. There's been a few artists that have made that transition to film. So Daft Punk was one of the ones I remember quite clearly. They did the soundtrack to Tron Legacy.
Yes,
and it was a great soundtrack. And it's like, okay, you've made the transition from being a DJs over to film, and you know, how'd you do that to gaming, right? So yeah, if he can do this, then by all means. Like, can you imagine a soundtrack from him for, I don't know, name a game where his music or his style of making music would go down like perfectly?
This is it, isn't it? It is an interesting sphere, if you like, in regards to what is in what is left in regards to different avenues, because some people would say, oh, he's this is his retirement plan, and he's just gonna let Create Music Group do whatever. He'll just sign the signature, and people will do his work in the background. What would you say to that?
Well, no, because I could tell for a very long time, you know, Deadmau5 or Joel, he's been trying to get into this gaming sphere for a while. And every single time we've seen his attempts, it's never really led anywhere. I think the biggest one was the Fortnite collaboration. But let's be honest, Fortnite they hoover up artists and throw them away like it's nothing. So, like, if he really wants to get into this, he needs some assistance. And so, yeah, from the sound of things, this is what this is. Now, if it's in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, he hasn't done any collaborations with any video games, and we know it didn't work. But yeah, go for it. Why not? I mean, I hope he's still going to tour and still make music, though, right? I hope that's a thing. So, yeah.
Well, there are those that do speculate that because obviously he has been doing a lot of live shows recently. If I'm not mistaken, Deadmau5 super hard fans will probably know this as well, but I do believe there is a clip somewhere where he's being interviewed, or it's on a podcast, where he was saying eventually he does want to do less shows, which makes sense because obviously he's getting on a bit. I forget how old he is now, actually. But
it's like I was saying last episode. Like, sometimes you got to realize where your limits are. So if he's thinking many shows, he's got to evolve what he is about. And so again, this feeds back into different forms of media for sure.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think what they've said obviously is all nice, but obviously I think the main thing to take away, like you've just said, I'll reread the quote again. Create Music Group will also remaster and re-release certain catalog pieces, explore licensing opportunities, brand partnerships, and work with emerging media such as gaming, VR, and live streaming. What do you think about VR?
It's funny they say gaming and emerging media. Come on, dude. Gaming's the biggest media. It's the biggest media. But
yeah, actually, if
it's more little thing called video games, no one's ever heard of it before.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the video game industry make more money than any other industry like last year? I'm sure I've heard something like that.
Look at the budget for GTA 6. That's all I'm going to say, Mo. It's all you need to say.
How much is that? I've not actually seen.
Insane amounts. Ridiculous amounts.
Blockbuster film budget, or is it even more than that?
I think it's more than that.
Flipping heck. But here's the thing. So emerging media such as gaming. So, is Deadmau5 going to be on GTA 6?
Maybe. I mean, I'm just looking. I just quickly Googled it. For GTA 6, estimated to be over. Well, it's estimated to be in the range of several $100 million.
Oh my god!
Right. So that gives you an idea of like how much money is flowing around in this industry. And let's not forget the when Microsoft acquired Activision recently. I think that went for 50 billion.
Really?
Yeah. So like, that's what the hell?
Hang on,
was it 50 billion or was it 5 billion? But it was a lot of money anyway.
Yeah,
right? It was a lot of dough.
But correct me if I'm wrong though, and like I get this always really confused now. So Microsoft bought Activision, but Activision owned Blizzard. Is that right?
Yeah.
So basically, Microsoft just owned them all.
Oh yeah, we're going to get to a gaming podcast, and yeah, Microsoft.
No, we're not going to go. We're not going to do it.
Oh, here we go.
No.
You played Assassin's Creed Shadows recently? Let's get into it.
You even game, bro? No, but this was one of the things that I thought, you know what, because I'm a huge fan. You're a huge fan as well. You know, it's definitely something that, and actually, as Caitlin Houston mentioned as well, that this is obviously awesome to do with Mousetrap. So obviously, even it says here, quote, the record label has launched the careers of several popular dance music artists, including Skrillex, Rez, Noisia, Feed Me, and I.O. So technically, it's for them as well, so to speak.
I thought Noisia was big before Mousetrap, but fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah. It's an interesting turn, but yes, of course, there are those that think this is the beginning of the end of Deadmau5. Others think he is transitioning to a new phase.
Yeah, I think he's probably trying to transition into the gaming market. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I encourage it. Why not?
Yeah, and I guess what's interesting is that if I'm not mistaken, there was a period where Rockstar Games was wanting to try and get loads of DJs involved by doing those. I forget what it is now. I remember seeing clips of like Tale of Us, like doing DJ sets there, and Solomon. Was it like for GTA Live or no GTA Online?
I think one thing with like the thing with video games, right? I think this gets misunderstood quite a lot. Is when someone's making a game, they're making their piece of art, right?
Yeah, and
they want things to complement that art. So they don't make a piece of art so a DJ can showcase his work. They make a piece of art and then they choose artists to contribute to that art. And that's a big difference. And I think that's why a lot of people don't really understand like music and video games. So a good example of this, I'll always go back to it, is Wipeout. They made Wipeout and went, let's have a really cool futuristic soundtrack to complement this game. And then they picked tracks that suited the game. They didn't just pick the top 10 charts and put that in the game, right? They picked music they thought suited well, right? And I think that's a good example of a great music collaboration or a bad one. A bad one would be like the latest FIFA game. Can you remember any of the tracks from the latest FIFA? I can't, right? And so that's a good example, right? There's definitely soundtracks out there where you can go, oh man, yeah, this fits perfectly. And other ones where you go, I can't even remember it.
There's there is definitely an essence to that, and I know what you're saying there as well. I just think there were those that what am I trying to say? I'm trying to talk about Web3 because this is really like it really confuses me. So I'm not the Web3 person to talk about this. But what I'm going to mention is there was a time, especially during COVID, where people were doing live stream parties. And what they were doing they were creating Web3 spaces. I'm going to sound like such a dumbass to the pros here, but let me just...
Web3 spaces.
Web3 spaces, God me. Yeah, so basically Web3 online spaces where people could tune in to these live stream parties and they had their own little nightclub thing that people could tune into. Very nice idea, very cool and everything. And people were often like touting it to be like the future.
Nah, that sort of that's depressing if that's the future, man. Oh my god.
Well, do you think that
Yeah.
was? Do you think that type of thing? Because like, I feel like the VR live streaming thing that is referred to in this news article about Deadmau5, I have a feeling that I don't know whether it's striving towards that type of style of live streaming and
They could be
party.
trying it. Yeah, they could be trying it. I think VR's dead now, personally. That's my opinion. I think it had a good run, but it's just not taken off. And I think what killed that ultimately is the PSVR 2 was the make or break. The PSVR 2 was like, it's in the mainstream, it's got all the market share. Can it make VR good? And it didn't. Right. It just didn't people just didn't get it. And I'm like, okay, one of the biggest gaming companies on the planet can't get VR to work. How has anyone else got a chance to get this working now?
Yeah.
And I know Meta have been like the go-to for VR now, mostly because it's cheap. They've got cheap headsets and they're all right. But I'm like, man, it's the future of VR is not gaming. It's something else because PlayStation couldn't get it working. You know, all the other companies couldn't get it working. Steam couldn't get it working, you know, Valve. So I'm like, man, I don't know, man. VR seems like it seems different from what I thought it was going to be 5 years ago for sure. So,
well, here's the question then. So obviously, if you are, say, in this instance, you are someone who works at Create Music Group and you're dealing with this deal with Deadmau5, right? And then you're saying to them, right, so what we're going to do with you, Deadmau5, and all your assets and so on, we're going to, you know, like it says here, work with emerging media such as gaming and VR and live streaming. So if like, you know, if you're going to be working for Create Music Group and we're going to talk about VR, how would you implement basically simple math? Why would you Deadmau5 plus VR equals what? What do you think?
challenging because you've got to convince people to, first of all, buy a VR headset, which, again, the biggest gaming companies on the planet haven't managed to do that. So how are you going to do that? Once you figure that out, you've then got to figure out how to market it. So you probably have to collab with Facebook or something to get it on their meta service, right? And make some sort of like raving app. I don't know, but it's going to be hard to do that. For sure. It's going to be challenging because people don't even play VR games widespread, let alone VR festivals or whatever this is going to be. So yeah, it's going to be hard. But the rest of it, go for it. I think live streaming is a really big future for DJing, to be honest with you. The only thing holding that back is licensing, and Deadmau5 has got licensing sorted straight away. He owns his own label.
Yeah, well, this is it, yeah.
And then video games, like I said, I think video games is definitely a massive part of music. I wouldn't be into dance music if it wasn't for video games. So I think that's huge as well. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so again, so here's another instance. So again, in the instance that you are the person working at Create Music Group, and then you are working with, and you've obviously got all this assets of Deadmau5's 4,000 songs, as it said, as the article states there, and you are looking at and you're looking at a variety of games companies who are developing certain games. What type of game would you say? Yes, Deadmau5's music would be great in that. What type of game would you say? Don't say Silent Hill, because that'd be mental.
You know, I like to see artists challenge themselves and try something weird, because it's very easy to say, "Oh yeah, put them in the new GTA" or something like that, right? But nah, go a bit weird with it. Why not?
Like, would you say an arcade game, something more serious, role-playing game, like obviously, like to open it up here, you know?
Yeah,
Pokemon Go.
it really does open up, like Pokemon Go. It opens up your boundaries as an artist to experiment, right? And I think that's really cool. So again, I'll take it back to like films with Daft Punk. Obviously, Tron Legacy was a perfect fit for them because it was a really cool science fiction-y film, and they complemented that with their style beautifully. So, hell, for Deadmau5, why not something similar? You know, some upcoming science fiction game. I'm actually terrible with the current lineup of games coming out this year. I've totally forgotten most of them.
Or maybe not with the current, but like think about like maybe some games that you've played recently or in the past. Which ones would you say that could have done? Like if you had the chance and you worked for Create Music Group, what games would you say Deadmau5's music would fit well in this?
You know, Returnal comes to mind a little bit because that had a cool arcadey feel. It was science fiction, and when you think about how music integrates with video games, it's all about the pacing and the rhythm a little bit, right? And I think Returnal had a really good thing of it, like, right, rhythm, like action, 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 you die, you repeat, action, action, action. So like the idea of Returnal, if you're not familiar with it, it's this game where you keep dying constantly and you're this astronaut on an alien world and you're trying to work out why you're there. You've lost your memory, basically. But the idea that you get as far as you can, Dark Souls style, and then you die, imagine the same thing linked to music, right? So imagine you've got a mix that's 8 hours long, right? An 8 hour long mix, right? It's totally bonkers. And you tie that to the gameplay, and it's like, right, I got to this third boss last time, and as you get past the boss, the mix continues. So not only are you trying to progress the game and the story, you're trying to progress the next part of the mix, right? And so you can sort of do it in a weird Dark Souls sort of fashion. So there's definitely possibilities there.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, something like that would be quite good, wouldn't it? Because, like you said, like you get to a boss bit, the music can potentially change, and if you get over it, you get to progress to the next part of your mix. It's quite cool, and it is stuff like this where, these are potential ideas for Deadmau5's team. And actually, in the article, the first thing that came to my mind was really random, but in the article that Caitlin Houston wrote, it said, where have I read it? It said, I think it was a quote, Alexandra Williams and I had the privilege of working alongside Joel and his business partner, Dean Wilson. So Dean Wilson, as mentioned, Joel's business partner, randomly, I remember, I didn't speak to him, but I remember, Dave, you were there as well, actually. I don't know whether you remember this, but he was randomly at
meetings.
No,
meetings last a week in my brain. I'm like, oh.
No, I get this. I remember Dean Wilson was at Akasha when we went there to see Sasha.
Oh, Akasha was brilliant.
Akasha is brilliant. It's a great club, little club in there. It's not even little, but it's a lovely.
It's not a Monopoly, though, is it? It's not on that Monopoly.
No, it's not a Monopoly. No. We won't get into that. Crikey. No, randomly, Dean Wilson was there, and I think he had been at IMS like the day before, and I knew who he was, so I knew what he looked like. And then, he was randomly in the VIP area, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, I'm sure that's Deadmau5's manager, but he was with Sasha that night. I don't know whether he manages Sasha as well, but like, I remember seeing him thinking,
we're geeking out about that place big time when we went there. But yeah,
little
Ibiza treasure for you. Check out Akasha. It's one of the better clubs I've been to on Ireland, to be honest with you.
It's up there, isn't it?
The sound system's the sound system's peak. So yeah,
for me, it was light.
Yeah.
The light, and also
when Dan were geeking about the sound design all night, we were.
I know. I remember that night. Dan was telling me that he absolutely loves the DJ booth because it's just so beautifully designed, and very much so. But I would recommend actually those in Ibiza, and actually that rolls beautifully. I've actually kept this all in time very well, but this rolls in beautifully to the next news topic that I wanted to mention. And I thought we were going to go on for ages, but no, this is actually, now's a good time, I would say. So not news article, what am I saying? Discussion topic number 2. And this is something that's up for debate, master debate, right, Dave? So it is to do with Ibiza. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to a very specific area of the island. An island area that I have not been to, and I don't think you've been to it either, Dave, because obviously we've often been together. But what I'm talking about is Es Vedra. So there will be those that have been to Es Vedra. So I'll just quickly pop it up here. Look, so why are we talking about it? So basically, for those who do not know or did not see recently on social media, I will explain. Es Vedra, Ibiza landowners of Mirador Es Vedra closes its iconic viewpoint. The iconic viewpoint, which was often regarded as a pilgrimage location for many tourists on the island, has officially closed the area off due to over-tourism, which has harmed the local environment. Visit Ibiza Instagram mentions, quote, the iconic Es Vedra viewpoint in Ibiza has been blocked by local residents in an attempt to curb excessive tourism in this environmentally protected area. The landowners have decided to close access to Mirador Es Vedra and nearby parking to protect the area from over-exploitation. The nearby parking area, which offered stunning views of Es Vedra, has also been closed. And there we are. Look, so for those who don't know, Es Vedra is I mean, it's this. This is the This is the thing that people want to see. It's you are right on the edge of the island, quite high up as well, and you see obviously the Es Vedra Rock. I know Dan has spoken very highly of this place, and in the daytime, it's absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful view, and this is sort of like this is sort of what people often see when they go there because it's a beautiful place for the sunset as well. But a lot of people go there. A lot of people park up because they want to see and drink in the view, so to speak. Dave Collins, I want to come to you, obviously, of course, on this report that Es Vedra no muy mal, no muy mal, no más. So no más. So Dave, you cannot go there. Instant reactions. You're not allowed there anymore.
Watch me. No Guardia Civil watching this, right? Nah, it's sad, right? It's a place like this gets shut down or banned from tourism. Pretty sad. Looks really nice.
Yeah. So, like, what the thing I was thinking about when I sort of was reading this is that do you think it's right that the residents step in and say no one's allowed here anymore?
Well, who actually banned it? Was the residents or the owner of the land?
It's been blocked by local residents in an attempt to curb excessive tourism.
Well, if that's what they want, then okay. But yeah,
I'm also gonna sort of come at you from another perspective. Why do you think people come here?
It's beautiful. Droves? Look at it. It's lovely.
Because, I mean, apart from the view, there's nothing there. Like,
apart from the view,
there's the view.
Look at that. You're gonna get that in London? Doubt it.
Yeah, that's true. Because
it's very emotional. You've got to realize Ibiza is all about emotional journeys. So that's a perfect emotional. I mean, God, look at that one. That's beautiful.
I mean, I can't deny it's an absolutely stunning view that you can get from up there.
It's sad that the word tourism in Ibiza has been attached to like horrible people, basically, because it seems like there's so many places that are like being banned from tourists. Because I think tourists is actually really sort of nice to sort of people want to visit your part of the world and experience it because it's so beautiful, and I think that's really humbling. It's just a shame that it's got this weird sort of. Is it because they're not respecting the land and they're just making a mess of it? You know, that's
I believe that's what people are detailing here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really sad when this is like what it ends up as. Right? There's ways you can fix that sort of thing. You can, as much as I hate to say this, you can commercialize it a little bit. You know, you can make like a viewing platform or something, but. Yeah, it's definitely a hard thing to discuss. Like, as I can understand it from both ends of the opinion.
And what would you say to those?
For sure.
Like, what would you say to those who would say something like, "You're just looking at a rock"?
I mean, yeah, you are. Well done. But I mean, it's a beautiful rock, or it's a beautiful sunset behind a rock, or something. I don't know. Like you only get as much from this as your perspective on it in the first place. So if your perspective of it's a big rock, it's not meant for you. Don't worry about it. If you look at that like me and you think, man, that's gorgeous, then yeah, it'll be a bit sad that you can't go there anymore. But yeah, I mean, yeah, who's saying it's just a rock? Is that what the commenters saying?
No, but I'm aware that some people don't get the hype, so they'll often say, "I don't know why people go there. It's just a rock that people look at." But then there are others that will basically say that it has deeper meanings, that there's like a magnetic force that they feel a connection, they feel.
I I think the magnetic force is a bit strange. Unless people are made of metal, I don't know how that affects them. Yeah, I mean, it looks beautiful, right? I've been to many sort of islands in sort of the Med and the Canaries and stuff, and they've all got beautiful sceneries like this. So yeah, it's definitely sad to see it sort of.
What would you say? What would be your thoughts? Say if the landowners charged money for entry to this area, what would you say to that?
I think that's preferable to banning people outright, and that's what I said about commercialization. Because I've seen stuff like this, and funny enough, this reminded me of Madeira a little bit. Because when I went to Madeira, I think 2 years ago, to see my granddad over there, they've got the entire island's mountain ranges. It's a gorgeous place, and they've got very similar things. And you know what they've done? Instead of shutting it down to the public on what looks like kind of dangerous sort of footpath there, to be honest with you, they're wearing flip-flops on the mountain. I mean, come on, that's not exactly the best sort of place to view that. They basically commercialized it a little bit, so they charge people like €2 or €3 to go in, and they had a little glass viewing platform and a little tiny telescope, and it's like it goes all right, actually. You know what I mean? Like, that's a nice way to do it. Admittedly, commercializing it at all is not nice, but commercializing it so that they can maintain the safety of it and maintain like the damage to the nearby wildlife, because I can see exactly what's happened here. They've not built any infrastructure, and people just turn up in flip-flops and blinking swimming shorts and crap like this, and then just trample over the plants, and they freak out all the animals, and it's like, oh, okay, they're being arty tourists. But if you just did this, if you just built this out as a little tiny viewing platform that sort of restricted the tourism to just one little area that wasn't damaging anything, you'd have the best of both worlds. So, like, I think that's what I would have done. But to do that requires investment, right? So this is what I said. Who banned it? If it was a landowner, I'd encourage the landowner to look at this as a tourism opportunity and to do it properly and to do it so it respects the local area, the local wildlife, and gives people the benefit of experiencing this beautiful place.
And very well put.
That's what I think. But yeah, it's difficult. It really is.
How much would you pay to get access to that?
I don't know. I mean,
what would you say is reasonable?
€5. Yeah.
Yeah.
For like a little platform to check out the sun. Yeah. If there's more than that, then obviously you put more down. I mean, if you put a bar there, I mean, that's the ultimate sort of thing, isn't it? It's the big fear. Oh, they're going to have a big party on top of the hill or something. But if you did it tastefully, then obviously more money. So, yeah.
If I am not mistaken, I may need to double check. In fact, I'm probably going to double check this in a minute. But before I get to it, actually, just hold that thought for a second. I just want to bring you to this comment that we can see here at Jorda_OFC saying, quote, "It's really sad, and yet I can totally understand it. I go to this place every year to soak up the energy. Not possible from now on. Many people didn't behave properly. Rubbish, illegal parties and sales. No tolerance and consideration for nature and local residents. Now everyone is suffering. I will miss these moments very much." Dave Collins.
Yeah, totally agree. It's the damage in nature part which annoys me. And like I said, there's ways to get around that, right? If you build it so that the tourism part is sort of separate from the nature part, or is designed not to damage the nature part, then that's preferable. Banning it is not nice either, because what happens then is, because you ban it, do you think that's going to stop people from going if you ban it? Probably not. You know what I mean? So it's really difficult to sort of try and do that.
Yeah, and you know something rather interestingly, I'm going to close this one because I was right. I do remember this story, so I'm going to hold you on that thought about illegal parties and so on. We're going to quickly jump to this one. You get a load of this. So this was reported on the 27th of June 2024. Diplo did an illegal party at this viewpoint.
Like, how disrespectful is that to the locals, right? That's the thing. I think, okay, that's too far. And
this
right.
was an illegal party. Unlicensed event was held in an ecologically vulnerable location covered by strict environmental laws. The article from Martin Guttridge Hewitt once again. Yeah, it's
this is what happens. Like, I can totally understand from the Ibiza perspective. They have this beautiful little wildlife spot. What's the first thing that the tourists do? They put a big sound system there and put big donk on everything and just fuck everything up for everyone, right? And it's like, get rid of the tourists. But what I'm saying is there's more than one way to make an area sustainable for tourism. Then this is like the worst way of doing it. There's totally different ways of doing it, for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And actually, I'm having a quick scan here of this article, so I'm just going to read you out this quote from here, which was from the San Jose City Council. It says, quote, "The space where this event was held is a protected area by the European Union through the Natura 2000 network, in addition to a natural area of special interest among other figures of environmental protection, a vulnerable area in which this type of illegal activities promote the risk of fires, noise problems, waste, etc., and of course, endanger the integrity of the people attending." Yeah, it's and let's see here. Supermarket alcohol sales have also been restricted between 8 and 9:30 p.m. in certain areas. With anyone caught drinking outside, yeah, we got that as well. But yeah, so there you go. So even all the way up the chain to like the big superstar DJs, Diplo also having his hand in illegal raves at this viewpoint. Dave Collins, what would you say to Diplo right now?
Bit of a dick thing to do, to be honest with you, but hey, that's what it is.
And it looks like he was investigated for this. I'm just going to quickly say here from Mr. After Party, Diplo's illegal party sparks investigation and potential €300,000 fine.
It like stinks of Johnny Somali type vibes, to me a little bit.
Do you think €300,000 fine? Do you think that's justified?
Oh man, I don't know. I'd hate to pay that, but yeah, I don't know. Sucks. When did this happen?
This was it was reported back in 2024.
Right.
Yeah. And at Els XN says, unauthorized gathering. Pretty sure people gather there every single night to watch the sunset, whether or not someone plays some music or not. What's your thoughts on that?
What do you do? So it's about being respectful to the area, right? And you can do that in many ways, but playing a big donking sound system probably isn't one of them. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like it stinks of Johnny Somali vibes. It stinks of this. Oh, that's a nice culture you got there. Shame if I was to just go nuts on it and screw it all up with my sort of tourist pass or Gaijin pass, as they call it in Japan, right? So
yeah. It's an interesting. I'm also of the opinion as well that obviously we're talking about a tourism point, and it's an area where people very clearly go and do whatever there. And me and you, I think we both know there are people that love going to see the Es Vedra viewpoint and to witness the sunset and so on and so on. And it's got a lot of deep roots with a lot of people, even though, of course, to some people, they'll just say you're literally going to the edge of the island to look at a rock. But for those that look beyond that, do you think it's something that they should be monetizing the local residents? I think that was something that we were mentioning before, wasn't it?
Well, should and could are two completely different things. Who owns the land? That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Whoever owns the land, they've got the right to monetize it as they wish.
But as the articles were mentioning, it looks like there was like a lot of environmental restrictions. That will probably be the other reason why they can't do much there.
Yeah, if there's environmental restrictions, they've got to work around them, basically. And if they can't do it, they can't do it. It's simple as that.
And what I will also ask you as well, Dave, is
I'm never one for like committee voting and stuff like this because. I mean, come on, look at what happened to Ministry of Sound when it came to stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone says it's too loud, and all of a sudden you've got to shut down MOS because a bunch of flats get built next door and everyone hates it. So I'm always against committee voting on this sort of thing. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's difficult. You got each scenario like this is different. So, yeah.
What would, and my final question on this would be, if and when we next go to Ibiza, do you want to go to the Es Vedra viewpoint? We can't anyway. We can't anyway.
No, not allowed.
You
might be able to go to the next viewpoint along. I don't know. Like, how restricted is this? It's like there's a brand new top attraction. It's not quite the same viewpoint, but pretty much the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that you raise a good point actually. I wonder, like, at what point is it not restricted? Like, do you just have to walk a few feet to the left or the right?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that might be the case. We'll have to go to like the new Es Vedra viewpoint from another perspective, right?
It makes me laugh a little bit because this sort of reminds me a little bit of Cafe Mambo. And I remember everyone's like, you've got to go and see the Cafe Mambo sunset. It's gorgeous and all this. And I remember clearly there was the Cafe Mambo and they had the beach there and the sunset was like, man, the Cafe Mambo sunset, so heartwarming. It's great. And then next to Cafe Mambo was this little tiny crappy supermarket with the exact same view. And I was like, is that the Cafe Mambo sunset as well? Is this entire beach the Cafe Mambo sunset? So like there's definitely context as to where you sit down and look at the sunset. The reality is it's available across the entire island. So
I guess, and again, like that, I guess that's kind of the beauty of Ibiza, really, because obviously their sunsets are amazing. I think one of the funniest things that I ever heard, and I know our science friend, Dr. Alex, he was saying his brain almost exploded when I said this, but I remember overhearing. I think it was some girl in where was it? It was some girl in I think it was in space. I think it was in the smoking area. But I remember I was talking to a girl and she was saying, "I swear in Ibiza the sunsets last longer than anywhere else in the world." And I said this to Al, and he was like, "No, that's not how it works." I was like, "That's just what she said." He was like, "No, that's not how it works."
There's science there. There's definitely science there, and a little bit of psychology as to why that might happen. I think Alex is on point here. To be honest with you, I rarely disagree with Alex. Let's be honest. Like when he says the way it is, I go,
never disagree.
Smart do.
Yeah, never disagree with the scientists. You always.
From my understanding, the closer to the equator you are, the quicker the sunset.
Yes. But it was very funny. But I will definitely say, though, in regards to the sunset at Ibiza, you can experience that in all areas of the island, which is what makes Ibiza so great. So, because when it comes to the sunset, like you said, Dave, and actually, that's a really good point as well that you mentioned about Cafe Mambo as well, because if I'm not mistaken, you've got Cafe Mambo at the end, then next door is Cafe Del Mar, and then after that is Savannah, and then after that, it's that bar supermarket thing, hybrid.
And it's all the same beach though, right? And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
all. To be fair, I said it was shitty. That's not good. I actually really liked it there. It was boss. I loved
it. I can't complain either. I like
really
it
good.
too. Because actually, the really cool thing about that is that now, like, of course, Cafe Del Mar. I can't say much about Savannah because I've never been, but Cafe Mambo and Cafe Del Mar, they're not cheap, and if you want to experience that type of sunset, but without having to pay those hefty fees in these places, Barbadega is right there, and it's a very convenient place.
It's the Ibiza hack. Yeah.
I mean, hey, how many times did we use it? We used it frequently.
And we got absolutely crap faced on rum there. It was great. We must have saved like €500 just by going there. It was great.
Yeah, because the thing is as well, like obviously, there are those that will use that thing as almost like a tool, like a useful place to go to before you go to the super clubs, because of course it's so expensive in all of these super clubs. You're paying exorbitant fees, and of course somewhere like Bar de Bega, you're getting just supermarket prices for these alcohol, where it's obviously not outrageous. But the beauty of it, and obviously they must have seen this coming, but essentially to describe Bar Bodega, the place that we're talking about, is a supermarket. Technically, it's like a corner shop, but they've expanded to have like this really weird outdoor bar bit, but it's still technically a supermarket.
Yeah, imagine a Tesco's, but when you say you can order like a drink there as well. That's the best way to explain it.
That's basically it. Yeah. I don't know about food, but I know definitely alcohol. You could definitely order.
Hey, they could expand, man.
Yeah,
I'll have a microwave burger, please, with this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just rustlers in a microwave, like straight from the shop shelf. A shelf. it's very funny, but this is it, So it's yeah, it is interesting, but yeah, of course. Whether Es Vedra Viewpoint will be opening up for the summer season 2025 is remains to be seen as of the time of this recording. But of course, here at Change Faces Podcast, we will keep you updated with the latest news and goings on, especially. Well, we try and cover things around the world, but of course, when
Honestly,
it comes to dance music stuff, a lot of drama and stuff happens in Ibiza, like, to be honest, especially from where I'm sitting anyway. Because actually,
considering this is episode 2, I'm thinking we need an extended edition of this podcast now because there's just too much news. We're like, is there going to be enough? We've got not enough time.
yeah, and you know what? I was actually thinking, whilst I was like finding all these things, I've tried to keep it quite balanced to be, new stuff that was like sort of located here, there, and everywhere. But like the amount of stuff going on, like in Ibiza is just mental at the moment, because obviously a lot of things are being announced, and so I've got so many things bookmarked because there's just so many things being like announced. It's hard to keep up with it all. But essentially, in closing, Dave, what we could say is that Es Vedra, there could still be a future for it because it's not going away anywhere, and obviously there's strict European guidelines there that restrict certain behaviors. My final question to you on the Es Vedra topic: do you think there will be an illegal party there this summer season 2025? Yes or
probably.
No?
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to stop an illegal party? Unless you put explosives there, and turn it to a military base, then I suppose things change. But yeah,
yeah, you never know. But like, yeah, it's whether they will be able to properly police it and stop people from going there. People might be there right now. You know what I mean?
Or the locals are. I mean, people are there technically.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, this is it. You never know. People might be. It is, but yeah, people might be tuning into this podcast whilst they are sitting on the edge of that cliff.
Take a cheeky photo of yourself with yourself there and leg it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
illegal photos. Yeah,
you're technically the rebel now for those who are visiting there. Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? But these are the things going on, and these are the things that we will be reporting to you in the upcoming episodes of the Changing Faces podcast. We're more or less at the end, Dave, but it's been quite a lot of news, isn't it? A lot of it's quite random, but I like random.
Yeah, I do. It's very, very, very good, comprehensive review. Well done, Chang.
Absolutely. Everything from some stage production stuff of God, I forgot her name now. Of Res, a very expensive ashtray, of a CDJ Mark 1000 Mark II, I think it was called, and then obviously we have had Pioneer Limited Edition, basically see-through, Ibiza Monopoly, which does not include some key things for Dave. So Dave is probably not going to buy this.
I'll buy it, and I'll make the Changing Faces revision version. Be great.
Yes, the revision version. Yeah. And obviously we've gone through, Ministry of Sound and, people breaking into there, and then no party going ahead at Fernware because the authorities stopped that from happening. Gallery, new club opening up in West London. So by all means, if you're in and around London, go and check that out. Belgium illegal rave in a military airbase. Don't go to that airbase. Don't go to an party there. Deadmau5 selling, doing a deal of €55 million plus deal. What am I saying? $55 million plus deal. And then obviously Es Vedra closing as well. In closing, Dave, a lot is going on, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you missed any of this stuff, you just tuned in now. Of course, you can get this podcast on our Mixcloud. You can check it out on iTunes and every other podcast place going. So by all means, rewind and check out some of the topics we talked about. But yeah, it's you can check us out there, and you can check out our weekend schedules on www.changingfaces.live and check out some of our new shows we've got on our live stream platform. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And also for the latest updates, we are at Hey Changing Faces on both Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and at Changing Faces RS on X. And also, just a quick self-plug for me as well. For latest music and mixes by me, you can find me at James Chang Music on Instagram or at I am James Chang on X, Facebook, SoundCloud, and Blue Sky as well. Or find me on Bandcamp by searching just for my name. And for everything else, you can visit changingfaces.live. We are .live.
Changingfaces.live. Yeah.
Yeah. We're also thisIschangingfaces.com still, technically. But we are also
transitional period. But
yes, we are also in the transitional period. But we are mainly changingfaces.live, where you can check out more of our content. But that's more or less that's more or less it, mate. But it's gone pretty well, I'd say. It's for our second episode. Who knows what we'll be reporting on in the third episode? And also for our next episode, there is potentially going to be our first guest as well. Dave is obviously a guest, but Dave's part of Changing Faces. But we're hoping to get our first external guest to come and have a quick wee chat to us. So we'll see how all that pans out, and by that I mean when I can get around to DMing him and saying, "Hey, do you want to be on the podcast?" That's more or less it. Like, that's a wrap for episode 2 of Changing Faces podcast. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you guys, appreciate it. Take care.
Bye everyone. Bye.